it's wide angle, so I may come close. Don't be afraid.
You just follow your muse, Warab.
Yeah.
All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. I'm Eli Glasner. This is Elle Mills and Louis Cole, and we are going to talk about the reality of being a YouTuber. That is why we're here, and we already have lots of questions from people, so thank you so much. We're at the Buffer Festival here in Toronto, so the building is just rotten with YouTubers. They're everywhere. They're talking about how to go viral, how to stay sane, doing this job. So let's start with a question from Hallie, who says she met Elle at least 6 times. It's not too bad. What is, Elle, your craziest fan experience you can remember?
Ooh. Well, I don't want to be too specific.
You don't want to encourage anything either.
Yeah. I find I don't know. There's sometimes when I hug people, they I had one person kind of suck my ear a bit. That was uncomfortable.
What?
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
And then they kind of smell me.
No.
It was weird.
No.
Wait, was this a girl or a guy? I guess it doesn't
A
matter.
guy.
Okay, that feels a bit more intrusive.
Do not taste the YouTubers, people.
Yes.
They're there for your visual enjoyment. Okay.
That was the craziest one.
Caitlin asks, Elle, are you going to do a meetup while in Toronto?
Well, you could come to the screening tomorrow at
Aha!
at 2 p.m. Because we
See
have
how
a
she
red.
slid that plug in there?
Yeah. I'm doing the comedy screening, and we do a red carpet after, where we were able to meet everyone that came to the screening. So that's my meetup for this week.
Okay, Louis, we have a serious question here from Yasmin. What would you do if you had one day to live? Now, you lived a pretty full life in your adventures, so I don't know. I
feel like that's kind of my philosophy every day.
I know, but okay.
Live every day as if it's your last.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean,
so the apocalypse is raining down. The asteroid is coming. You've got 24 hours left, and
I mean, I don't know. I think it's hard to say exactly, but I feel like for me, it's just don't let things hold you back. Live life fearlessly. So for me, it would be just living life to the fullest would be my approach. So, but yeah, I think relationships, friends. I think when you're in a situation like that, when you feel where you feel like the most important things will come to the surface, and I think that's normally friendships, relationships. It's not, you don't really care about money and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's all about kind of caring about the right things.
Sure, sure. Now, another challenging question for you, Elle. If you could have a meal with anyone, who would you have a meal with? This is from Yasmin. You had live or dead, just to make it even.
Live or dead? Okay, I'm gonna go with John Hughes.
Why John Hughes? I totally support this choice, but I want to hear from you.
My videos are very heavily inspired by his films, like Ferris Bueller, Home Alone, Breakfast Club. I think he's an incredible filmmaker, and I would love to have a meal with him for sure.
That's amazing. It's interesting because I wondered, as you're developing as a YouTuber, where does your influence come from? Because it is such a new thing that you're doing, but you're pulling from movies of the 80s, which are maybe prehistoric to you, but you vibe with what he was doing. 100%, that's great.
Yeah.
And Louis, it's such a good question. If you had living or dead, eat with anyone, a meal with anyone.
I've thought about this a few times.
Oh yeah?
I think for me, I'm really excited about the future of humanity and what we're doing. So someone like Elon Musk, where it's going to send us to Mars. Right. It's that kind of huge, I don't know what they call it, blue sky thinking or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Just out of the box thinking. I love people like that, so I'd love to sit down with him and just chat.
Now, Louis, Rajat has a question for you. He wants to know when the premiere of your documentary is.
I think it's happening tonight at 8 p.m.
Oh my, wow.
So it's only a 20-minute cut, but so for those that don't know, last year I did a 3-month trip. Flying around the world, circumnavigating in this tiny 1970s single-engine Cessna. My friend's the pilot, JP, and we did this incredible trip, but also documented it, and we've been cutting together the documentary. So I'm showing the first 20 minutes tonight, and then we're going to cut together a 90-minute cut.
How hard was it to stay friends with someone like that under those kind of circumstances?
Honestly, it did take a strain on our friendship. Which we go into a little bit in the documentary, but it was more challenging than I thought, because you're basically stuck in a metal box with someone and you're like
Sure.
cramped on this for like 3 months.
And flying over oceans
Yeah,
and mountains.
highly stressful situation.
What was the scariest moment?
It's actually going to be in the 20-minute cut tonight. It was the second day into the trip. We went into a storm and it was like life-threatening.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
my
wow.
God.
Because I watched some of those videos. I didn't see that
Anyone
one.
in Toronto who want to come down tonight, definitely come check it
Nice.
out.
Okay, question for both of you from Caitlin Cross. What was your reaction when you realized your subscribers were growing so quickly? So Elle, let's start with you.
I was really happy, for sure.
Yeah.
Like immediately, I was like, wow, this is everything I wanted, because I had been a huge YouTube fan before I did YouTube, and like it always feels nice when like hard work kind of pays off.
Right.
But like the aftermath of it, obviously, is just like the pressure, and then you feel like, oh, I need to keep it up. I need to I need to make the next video even bigger,
Right.
and so on. But
So you get on that treadmill and then the speed keeps increasing.
yeah.
And you can't, it's hard to hit pause, I guess. You released a very honest video where you talked about this kind of like moment where you were almost like a breakdown, basically. I wondered what led to that video. Like, what was that moment where you said, I need to talk about this. I can't keep up anymore.
Yeah, well, I unfortunately had like a very public breakdown back in April, because it just got all kind of built up, and it just kind of broke.
Yeah.
And so I made the video, trying to explain myself, because I had to cancel tour shows, I had to say no to a couple events, and so.
What do you think was the breaking point? What do you think forced you to realize, okay, I need to change?
I was very depressed, and I was experiencing panic attacks twice a day.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore, and if I were to continue on, it would just be killing myself.
Now, Louis, you've also kind of changed your lifestyle. I mean, you're known as someone who would like ride across Africa or fly around the world, and now you're vlogging about IKEA. So I get a sense you're also, but it's the thing, I mean, this is what, like, YouTubers, you're known for your honesty, and it's the question of like, talk to me about trying to find that new balance and do this in a sustainable way for yourself.
Yeah, so for me it's been, I mean, I'm considered a bit of like an OG on YouTube, even though that was like 6 years ago. It's funny, it's like such a short-term industry. It's like 6 years ago, it was like,
in
oh yeah,
internet
back in
years,
the day.
it's a
like,
century.
So yeah, so I started kind of super high paced, vlogging every single day, and then it's just become, it's such an interesting platform, and I think it evolves rapidly. So you've got tons more high quality creators on the platform now. So you're, in a way, there is this, you're competing with other people to get the attention of your audience. You've also built your whole kind of income and business. And when I started, I didn't think about having a business, but yeah, it becomes like a business, right? So you built all this, and it's all reliant on the viewership you're getting, like whether people are watching your videos. So as soon as like something shifts, like the algorithm, or there's a ton more competition out there, suddenly you're trying to, oh, I need to make high quality content, I need to upload more often, I need to do all these things. So there's these pressures build on. And where it started as a bit of a, for me it was just a pure passion thing. I love making videos, I love sharing adventures I'm having. And then there's, at times I've had, not quite like dramatic breakdowns, but I remember sitting in Jamaica like 3 years ago, and it was when it first hit me, my views started dropping. And I was like, okay, I wasn't depressed, but I was like down. I was like sitting there in paradise, literally with like, I would say one of the best jobs you could have in the world.
Right.
And for some reason I was down about it. I was like, why are my views dropping?
All you can think of are your numbers.
Yeah, because of how that, like, I imagine that affecting everything. Like, oh, what if this is it now? Like, what if like I've lost my popularity? And then you have to start trying to remind yourself, like, oh, well, hang on, I do kind of have the best job in the world. So people watching might not understand what we're talking about, because it's like they'll be like, oh, stop complaining. It's not that I'm complaining. It's just the reality is, yes, it's an incredible opportunity. I'm so grateful to have this platform and ability to earn an income doing something I love. But then you've got this super high pressure of like, you're basically having to become a business person and understand how to build a business and how to stay at the top and stay successful. And it's like stuff that I didn't buy into. That wasn't something I wanted to do from the start. Like, I didn't want to run a business, but it kind of is. So I think over the last year, I've slowed down my uploads, maybe uploaded like 3 or 4 times a week rather than like 7 days a week. And then also, recently just basing up in one location rather than being fully nomadic all the time.
And Elle, you're also doing the same thing, trying, as far as I can tell, posting less and getting that quality of life back.
Yeah, taking my time in between videos has been super helpful. Like, just like not putting the pressure on having like a set schedule has been super helpful for my mental health.
I mean, I don't think people understand how hard that is for YouTubers to step away from that and go dark for a bit, because it is going to affect you. Interesting question from Caruso. They're asking, any advice for someone who wants to be a YouTuber but whose father is unsupportive because they're worried about safety, maybe privacy, maybe being that exposed? Elle, what would you say to that?
Oh gosh, that's a whole different ballgame. That maybe like finding like a middle ground with the dad, like figuring out like maybe a safe way to upload YouTube videos and keep like your life private still and make it safe. I think that would be like having having good communication. Yeah.
How did you, I mean, you put yourself out there and you're open about, kind of where you live, we see your friends.
Yes.
Was your family concerned about you being on this platform?
Certain family members, yeah, but those family members are actually just not part of the videos.
Right.
There's actually my dad never appears in my videos, my oldest sister never appears in my videos, and it's because they want their lives private. So I respect that, and I only put
I've seen your mom, I haven't seen your dad.
Yeah, exactly. I only put people who want to be part of that lifestyle on the videos.
Now, Louis, I'm sure you've been asked this 1,000 times, but I'm still fascinated for your answer. Favorite place you've ever traveled? This is from Jasmine.
Yeah, it's most commonly asked question for me. I can't pin one place because part of my whole approach to life is seeing the best and most positive things in everywhere I go. So, but I would say probably I really love Brazil, especially Rio de Janeiro. I really love Cape Town in South Africa, and then I really love New Zealand as a country. And I can't decide which I'd put at the top, but those are my top 3, I think.
And how are you doing adjusting to Santa Monica now? It's not exactly
so
New Zealand,
yeah, it's actually Venice.
Oh, Venice, okay.
But for me, there's something amazing about being in one location, being around Venice is this interesting pocket of LA where there's it's hyper creative. There's a lot of people more on a spiritual journey almost, where they're there's a lot of yoga places. There are people thinking about bettering themselves, not just on this rat race or trying to climb the mountain or all this stuff. So I feel like we've really connected in with some beautiful people in that community, and being here right now, I don't want to say I've settled down, but I feel like basing up somewhere in between the other adventures means a lot to
what's
me.
Interesting for you is, and you said this is the new adventure for you, actually having a stable place and doing the things that a lot of us take for granted. This is new terrain, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the challenge for you is to pull your viewership along with you. But Elle, I have a question for you, which is also a really interesting one. What would you be doing if you weren't a YouTuber?
Oh, I'd still be in school. I'm only 20. I just turned 20, so I'd be at school. I was originally at school for marketing, so I'd probably still be doing that if YouTube hadn't blown up.
Right.
For sure.
SJ on YouTube wants to tell Elle she's so pumped, or he's so pumped to meet you tomorrow. Ishal has a question for both of you. What is your favorite high school musical? 1, 2, or 3?
3.
Okay, wow, that was confident.
I think
I have to admit, I have never watched
Louis, don't say
any of the high school musicals.
Oh my God, Louis.
They're not bad.
No,
Zac Efron.
Tonight we'll go.
Oh, there you go.
Is that bad that I haven't watched
Yeah,
it?
Louis.
It
It's the
depends.
first one.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Caitlin on YouTube asks for both Louis and Elle, how hard is it for you to find content for your videos? So I guess in terms of creating the content, how much does that take out of you? Well, Elle, let's start with you because you're not necessarily traveling around the world, but how much does that kind of take out of your life when you know a video? Is it a 1-day thing? Is it a 5-day thing? Are you planning months ahead, or?
Oh no, I'm very impulsive. So my videos are usually, when I come up with the idea, I try to pump it out within the next within 4 to 5 days. And that's just intense work because I like working in stress.
Right.
Because it makes me not procrastinate.
You need the deadline.
I work with deadlines. I love deadlines.
I'm the same.
I make this I'm stressing. I'm I have to post tomorrow at 4:30. I'm and someone asks who's making you post it tomorrow at 4:30? I'm me.
Me.
It's gonna happen.
Is it hard to shut off kind of the YouTuber part of your brain? Because I imagine your own journey is part of your channel, and so something happens and there must be oh, this could be a thing. This is my next thing. And so how hard is it just to be at peace?
I never switch off, and that's what's difficult. That's what people don't quite understand, and that's what I think leads to burnout. Is most jobs, like, you can like clock out at the end of the day and then you just you're in your leisure time. For me, like, I blurred the lines so much between, because when I started it wasn't work, and then it's become like, oh, I guess this is my job, you know. And it's like, now everything I'm doing for fun is also stuff I'm filming, which is also part of my work. So like, I never switch off, and I think that's damaging. And that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. When can I put the camera down? And that's why I've started taking full days off. But even then, I'm still sitting at the computer and like doing other stuff, working on other videos, and it's just.
Hannah, Louis, met you on a flight. So they're all we're helping. We're growing here. It's a sharing place for all of you and all of us. Well, I mean, YouTube has released videos about therapy, right? YouTube has realized what is happening, and they're trying to, I think, make sure that you guys can survive for the long haul. Hannah, Louis, has met you on a flight to Calgary 4 years ago. Hannah waves and says, what advice do you have for someone starting out a blog and interested in growing a following in the beginning? So Hannah's a little mini Louis, and she wants to grow into something bigger. Just starting out, what would you say to Hannah?
I'd say to people, like, don't focus on making money from it or trying to succeed like the biggest YouTubers, because it's, firstly, it's like a completely different animal to when I started. I kind of got into it right at the beginning, so it was part of it was luck that I had gotten the platform early. If I was starting from scratch now, I think it would be really, really hard to get the big audience. But I'd say, like, making unique content, stuff that you really love doing, like stuff that you're passionate about. Finding maybe more of a niche. Like, niche stuff seems to be doing really well. Like, if you have a specific interest in something. But yeah, just have fun. I think that's the main thing. Like, don't take it too seriously.
Well, what both of you have, and the thing that you can't train, is the authenticity, right? You're being yourself. You're not playing a character, and you're obviously being yourself. And so, find something that resonates with that. Jasmine says to Elle, during your breakdown, besides taking a break from YouTube, what helped you find yourself, and when did you know you were okay to go back on camera?
I think a lot of my progress has been because I've been talking and being more open with the actual people in my life. I've been open on the internet, but now I'm starting to talk to my friends and my family when I'm feeling bad, and they're helping me. So if I'm too stressed out, some people take some workload off of me and they help me out. And I just have really good friends and family, so that's been really helpful. And I knew I knew I should come back when I felt like I had the itch to make a video, and I was just ready to. I honestly felt the itch like a week after, like I was just like, I need to make another video. I knew as soon as I had enough time off, like I just like detox. Like I didn't have my phone for a week. Like
you actually wow.
Yeah, I did. It was off social media.
I need to do that.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
It was really nice, and I think I just like kind of realizing and figuring all that out was really good, and also making Burnt Out at 19 was really therapeutic, honestly. It was like,
there was a moment there, I think you talked about being angry at being sad, and that whole thing about like being angry at yourself for how you're feeling, which makes you even feel worse, and kind of breaking that cycle. It's great that you have a place that you can actually share that, and I imagine you've heard from a lot of other people that you helped by confessing what you were going through. Yasmin has a question. Louis, she was asking both of you what you'd be doing if you weren't doing this, but you talked about back in school, maybe getting back to marketing. But Louis, I don't know what the pre-fun for Louis is or was. What was he?
So,
did he have dreads?
I don't know if many people know this, but just before YouTube, I was working in inner city London with like vulnerable young people in gangs and stuff, and I had and I still have a double-decker bus that I've converted as a youth club. So it was like covered in graffiti. We had a music studio on it, and I was just passionate about like helping steer people in a good direction and providing a safe place for people to, I guess, not get into the gang lifestyle, but think bigger about their lives and stuff. And I think it was more the way I see it is like back then it was more of a micro, like one-on-one. I'd spend time helping, trying to mentor people. Now I feel like it's this macro, like, oh, I can speak to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, but it's not quite the same involved personal process of like if you're like mentoring people. It'd be something along the lines of mentoring young people and helping.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you heard from people who follow you, who you've inspired them to break out of their boxes? And
yeah, totally. Yeah, I think that's one of the most rewarding things, especially meeting people face to face at events or on the street or you know. And some people come to me. Some people just want a selfie. They're like, oh, hey. But some people genuinely like pour their heart out. They're like, wow, like you've changed my life. And it's hard to fathom because you're like, what? Like, I just make videos. But then it's super rewarding. It makes me feel like, oh my gosh, like this is so worth it. Even if this one person's like life's been changed from, even if it's just an idea that's sparked for them, or a different approach to life, or living life out, you know, pushing out their comfort zones and stuff like that. I think.
Anna on YouTube has a question about how has YouTube changed your life in the best way, and what do you hope for the future of the platform? Now you talked about connecting with people, so I'll ask Elle that first in terms of now where you are with your followers and your success. How has YouTube changed your life for the better?
It made me grow up a lot.
Really?
But we were talking about it recently back home, and my friends and family have said in the past year I've grown up more than I had in the from middle school to high school. Like I just like it forced me. I'm in a situation that I have to be a grown up, and I have to, you know, deal with some
You're
really
a businesswoman now.
Yeah. And I think I'm now more independent, and it just kind of made me a better person overall. And I think I've had a lot of experiences where I learned a lot from, like this whole burnout thing, and it just made me realize a lot of stuff, and it's been really great.
What did it do for Louis?
The best part of being on YouTube, I think meeting other creators, and they might be doing different types of stuff, because yours is like more comedy spin, you know. I know other people that are doing like skits or even music videos or whatever. There's like, but I feel like everyone I meet and become friends with, they're all like have this big dream or big vision, and I love being around people that dream big, you know? And I think that's exciting for me, especially when it's like we could use this platform to do something amazing in the world and like make a big difference, and you know, so I love that, being around people like that. And I think the friendships are built around kind of finding other YouTubers.
All right, Blogosphere wants to bring us down to brass tacks because they have a question. Hi, Elle and Louis. In terms of diversification of income, how important is it to create an income stream outside your personal brand? Elle, you want to speak to that?
I think Louis, that you can take that one.
Okay.
Because but this is like good. There's been a lot of talk about the community tab and super chat and trying to give you other ways so that you don't have to be posting 3 days a week and that kind of thing. So talk to me about diversification and Louis Incorporated.
So what they said was outside of my personal brand. So I imagine there's like under the Fun for Louis banner, which is my channel, there's different ways. There's like the AdSense, there's brand deals, there's this community tab, there's whatever, there's a few. But for me, I also was thinking, okay, outside of the Fun for Louis brand, I wanted to look at other revenue streams and run other projects. So I, 3 years ago, started a company, Live the Adventure, which is like my slogan. I sign out my videos. But for me, that's been an interesting journey of figuring out, okay, can I start a business alongside what I'm doing? So for a while, I was like representing other travel influencers and helping them, like doing brand deals.
Oh, I see.
And running events. I've done a couple of like events. I've invited like viewers to like summit, like travel summit, where we do like workshops. And then we did like an influencer trip where I invited other travel influencers down, and we ran like a trip for 10 days in South Africa. So I want to experiment a bit more, like still in the space, the influencer space, but doing bigger projects that don't like totally revolve around me as Louis. But so that's, I mean, it's hard though. Like so far, it's been tricky to make something as sustainable and like making income. Like I think it's easy once you've like found you're doing well at YouTube, it can be really lucrative. Like you can make great income, but I think it's harder to build side businesses off that.
Learn something new. When
especially when it's like being a business person's like kind of new to me. I'm like, I never like went to did business stuff at school. Like, I don't see myself as a businessman really, but I'm like, I guess I am. You know,
And Elle, are you looking for side Elle hustles?
I haven't yet. I'm
No.
still working on this whole YouTube thing. That's why I'm like stepping to the side a bit. Yeah. No, I don't know how to answer that question, to be fair.
All right. Jack Stewart says to Louis, you talking about your favorite place. He says, you know, Jamaica is your favorite. It has to be. It must inspire your, of course, wonderful dreadlocks. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, I really like Jamaica. It's good vibes.
Elle Islin wants to know how Jay is doing at university.
Jay.
I don't know what that means.
This is my brother.
Oh no.
He moved away. Yeah, I mean, he's doing alright. He's partying. That's what he's doing. I don't know how actual school's going. Every time I get a text from him, it's him asking for some money. So
there you go. Yasmin wants Elle to explain her tattoo, No Regrets.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, it's a really dumb tattoo.
She wants to know what
this is a meme.
Yasmin wants to know what it is.
Yeah. I did it. I was in LA. It was 1 a.m. Someone was like, let's get tattoos. I'm like, I only get dumb tattoos. It's like a thing. I like funny tattoos. And so I decided to get that. And that's the end of the story. And it's falling apart because the place that we went to was not the greatest.
Oh no.
Do you regret it?
So your only regret is the quality.
It's so good.
No, I think it works.
It's meta.
It works that it's like falling apart.
Right.
Because like I think it doesn't it, right?
Yeah, it's
no
perfect,
regret.
it's perfectly ironic.
Yeah,
It's perfectly
exactly.
ironic.
I wonder, I mean, we're here at this conference, we're filled with YouTubers. If you could talk to Google right now, is there 1 or 2 things that would make your life easier? Because I know there's all this stress right now with the algorithm and kind of chasing those numbers. Is there something more you'd like to make your job easier?
I actually had dinner
Oh yeah?
last year with the head of the algorithm.
Oh really?
And I saw him again like a couple of months ago. Yeah, it's interesting, you know. I feel like we can easily put blame on like, oh, YouTube is changing something and then we're suffering, but
right.
I don't know. I think there's a lot more going on. That's like bigger picture stuff that the way they described it was their only like aim is to make the pie bigger, but they're not so concerned with who takes which slice of the pie. So they're talking about advertising revenue, right? So they're like, we just want to make the pie bigger, but the problem is there's like hundreds and thousands of more top creators coming in, taking slices. So we just need to ride the wave. But yeah, I don't know about, maybe just like good helpful advice around, maybe they could send helpful advice around how do you cope, because you've had a breakdown, like I've gone through complete burnouts, and you're just like, I don't know how to deal with this, other than trying to ask my friends like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like
well,
YouTube could offer.
Jess on YouTube is actually asking, how do you deal with burnout? So you talked about hitting pause. Have you ever found any other coping mechanisms, or you say you're still asking you're kind of helping each other right now? This whole community of YouTubers are trying to.
I think it's an ongoing journey. I don't think there's one solution, and people handled stress and situations differently as well. Although we both like maybe a little bit of stress to make us do work.
Right.
I feel like when you actually get properly stressed, and I was like hugely sleep deprived because I was like trying to like churn these videos out, and then when you're getting months of sleep deprivation, that has a horrific effect on your body and mind, and you get, it can affect your emotions, and then you're like, and then you're scared to take time off because you're like, oh, it could affect everything, like my views or audience could drop, and that will affect my income. I remember like, it can become stressful.
Yeah.
But I think just trying to get perspective, and also realizing I was chatting to another YouTube employee, and they were like, no, we have burnouts too, like being employees.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I never really thought about it. Like, it's not just YouTubers that burn out, like loads of people in different industries, like in the movie industry and like whatever, like people are gonna suffer from burnout. So it's just trying to figure out how do you look after yourself. I like the idea of not having my phone for a week.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna catch up with you and see how that goes. We only have a couple minutes left. Quick question. Your response when Will Smith enters the YouTube space with his jumping out the plane thing, does that mean like, okay, now I have to compete with Will Smith? Like, how do you, no, you're just
I think
like,
that's
come
cool.
on in.
Also, the people that he's doing it with, Yes Theory, other buddies of mine, and they're so great. So I think it's cool, like that. Like I know The Rock has a YouTube channel.
Right.
I think that's fun. I don't see it as like competition or anything.
Yasmin asked Elle, what was your favorite video to film?
To film?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a lot of joy out of I threw myself a parade and slumber party with my brother's exes.
Oh.
Slumber Party with my brother's
I
exes.
didn't see that one.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
It was at Slumber Party with my brother's exes because I just enjoy.
So they're all dishing on him, and you're there.
Yeah, he walked in and it was like a FJ banner, like it was the greatest thing. I just like messing with him, and that was why I enjoyed that. The Through Myself parade, it was cool too. Like I had a parade full and went around my hometown because I hit 500,000 subscribers, so it was like my big thing, and I thought it was so petty and everything. So I liked filming that.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite? I mean, you've such a range, but.
I mean, I've done like almost 1,700 videos now, so I'm trying to think.
Gotta hurry up, Al. You gotta.
I know.
Do you do your like everything, like
yeah,
the animation, the mixing, it all?
You're really good at like After Effects.
Yeah.
That's so. I always wanted. I remember when you first made your outro. I was like, that's so sick, because I've been watching you for a long time.
Yeah,
I was like, that's so cool.
All right, so we are going to have to wrap it up, but it's been so great having you. I guess there's one word of advice that you would give your audience who want to follow in your footsteps. Let's start with you now.
To be YouTubers?
Yeah.
Oh, just like, if you're passionate about it, just make videos and like be creative and like it'll happen. Don't focus on the numbers and just like do what you want. Create videos and get creative with it. I don't know.
And Louis, maybe the most surprising thing about being Louis that people don't know.
You caught me by surprise. The most surprising thing about being me. Oh my gosh, I always struggle with questions like this.
Or we can just throw it back to following in your footsteps.
Yeah, okay. I think that's easier. I might need a little bit longer for that first question. Yeah, so I think like going back to this, like what's one bit of advice? I'd say like be as authentic as you can. I know it's like a buzzword that's thrown around, but the reason people are drawn to YouTube, I think, over like watching TV dramas or like TV, like I feel like there's this longing to connect with a person in real life. You feel like you've got like a friend sitting with you. And you don't always get that from watching highly polished, like high production stuff. Yeah. So I feel like there's something nice and like raw and real when you get to watch people, and it's not like this perfectly professional video. So I'd say like it doesn't matter if you've got like just a cheap camera or whatever, but being like really honest and like real on camera is so powerful.
Is that hard though? Because I know like in TV, right? We aim for like we want to be the bland mannequin. We want to be the perfect diction and everything, and so if you're recording something and you mess up a little, you're not sure about what you're saying, is it hard to let yourself be real when you also...
Elle's better at it than me. Like you like let your emotions, you'll be crying on camera and stuff. Like I haven't even cried on camera, I don't think, maybe, but like it's not even about that, it's more just about like having that raw authenticity, like showing your vulnerable side. Right. That's what it is, it's being vulnerable, I think.
Yeah. All right, there you go, folks. Be real, be vulnerable. Thank you so much for joining us at Elle Mills, Louis Cole, Eli Glasner at CBC. See you on YouTube. Bye. All right, we'll stay here looking at the camera or each other for 30 seconds or so because it takes a little while to pull the plug on the giant streaming machines. But this was awesome. That was lovely, guys. I really appreciate it. It was a good conversation.
That box. That looks like I want that set up. Like, how did it?
You know what that is?
What is that?
We call it a Dejero.